Hey guys, welcome to my plant room. Today I'm going to be doing a bunch of little tinkery plant chores. It's been so busy lately. I haven't really been able to do any of the like repotting, checking roots, cleaning plants type chores. When things get busy, I really only do the bare minimum maintenance wise, like watering and turning on grow lights. That's it. So I've kind of built up quite the list. Well, there's only 4 things on this list, but I have a 5th to add. Can you read it? I found mealies this morning, so I figured it's time that I start taking care of some of these smaller little tasks before things snowball out of my control. With so much to do in a day, outside of even just plant care, I got really dependent on drinking coffee to keep up with it all. It got to a point where I was even feeling a little sick after drinking coffee. Mud water, the sponsor of today's video, has been the perfect swap while still providing me the energy I need. Their original blend has 4 functional mushrooms with only a fraction of caffeine as a cup of coffee, so you get natural energy without the jitters or the crash. Cacao and chai for a hint of caffeine, lion's mane for focus, cordyceps to promote natural energy, and both chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. Plus it's Whole30 approved, 100% USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. And to top it all off, Mudwater has been donating monthly to support psychedelic research. Definitely more research needs to be done, so it's awesome that they support that. I really truly love Mudwater. It's something that's been a part of my routine for the last couple of years now. I truly think it's something that is worth a shot and I've seen a lot of benefits from. So I want to pass that along to you guys, and Mudwater does as well, because they are hooking you up with a special offer. So if you go to mudwater.com/HarliG, you can get a free frother and 15% off. That's mudwtr.com/HarliG for a free frother and 15% off. Huge thank you to Mudwater. Let's get back into the plant care. Okay, so first, up here, this is a little no ID antherium that I've had for a while now that's always kind of struggled. It usually just has a few leaves. I keep trying and it just keeps not working out. I potted it in with this rabbit foot fern, which has just exploded in growth. It also recently has exploded in death, unfortunately, but I'm gonna clean that up today. I kind of want to separate these 2 plants. As much as I love the fern in this setup, this just is not doing it for me. I don't think it's doing it for the plant either. So it's just time to get these separated. This relationship is just not working out, okay? They have their differences. I guess first I'm gonna go through and remove all of the dead fern fronds, just carefully. If they don't come off super easily, then that means they are not ready to come off. But they're all coming off pretty easily, so we're good. Good news though, because there are a lot of tiny little babies trying to pop out here. So I was kind of worried this plant was like extremely sad, but I think we're actually in the clear. With that being said, I am going to leave the fern in here. The fern feels right in this little bowl setup. I have like a rock in here. I think I've got all the dead leaves removed. The hardest part is definitely going to be taking out the plant because, oh my gosh, I just broke a leaf. I'm so stupid. Those really thick green roots are the antherium roots. So it's definitely like, for as not great as the leaves are doing, its root system is doing pretty good. Anyway, I'm gonna try and pull this out. Let's untangle all of this. Okay. Now that I think about it, I probably should have just unpotted both plants and then repotted that back in there because now there's roots in there. Here is the plant. It does have a really nice fresh root here. Un momento. It's kind of perfect because I found this vase a while ago that I just haven't known what to pot into it. And I think that this is a good chance to kind of test it out as a planter, make sure I really like it or can find a spot for it, and also find a plant that I think could look really cool in here. Don't get me wrong, right now, this is not like the most beautiful combination I've ever seen in the whole world, but I do think if this can start to grow in and get really long leaves, then this could be a match made in heaven. I'm gonna add some soil into here, some potting mix into my planter. And I already put horticultural charcoal down at the bottom because this does not have a drainage hole. Something I'm actually really worried about with this is if it's even watertight. I kind of did a little quickie test where I filled this up with water to see if it leaked, and it didn't in like an hour, but you never know. If at any point I'm watering this plant and water starts seeping out the sides, like I'm gonna pass this along. I hope it works for this plant though.
Hey.
What's up?
There's upstairs.
Okay, thank you. And then
Next one.
let me kind of water it in. And I'm gonna add some more. And top it off again on the water. Good work. Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah. Are you fine? Is there a closet over here?
There is a closet in here.
Right there?
Right there.
All right. You can see?
The lights?
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps make the light more even since there's a window here. So then there's light from every direction.
Oh.
All right, antherium, done. Hopefully where the light will be coming from this side of the room, it'll start to like face one direction that way. And I think it'll look really cool. Other than tearing apart the roots, that's the obvious answer. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I'll be nice, I swear. With that out of the way, I am gonna try and pull out some of the roots from the fern. Ouch. This is one freaking solid root. I know it doesn't look like it. I am trying to be as gentle as I can. But geez, I am destroying this freaking fern. Oh. You know what? I'm not wanting to destroy anything. The fern is looking pretty sad. I'm just gonna put it back in its spot, give it a little water. Maybe I'll repot this to my next plant care list. We'll see. You may be seeing that one again in the not so distant future, but look at how pretty these leaves are. Oh my gosh. Next, I have a little sansevieria trio that needs some stuff. 3 of my sansevieria. So to me, knowing the different IDs of sansevieria isn't worth the space it takes up in my head. So I haven't learned the names. If you are super interested, I did look up and insert each of the IDs on the sansevieria in my succulent houseplant collection video. This one, it's this one. I'll link it. For today, sticking to just the care stuff. This one here is actually blooming. I was really excited when I first saw it. I've heard that they could be death blooms, or it could have like root mealies or something that would be causing it to send out some flower spikes. So now I'm a little bit worried. I was originally very excited, still am a little bit, but I gotta pull that out and check those roots. This, I do want to kind of repot. It pops out of this planter really easy because this has been dropped a few times. Even though it is a little bit root bound, I need to add like fresh substrate around the roots. There's not enough around the root ball or to fill to the top of the pot to help hold this in place and help hold moisture in place. This one is another repot. As much as I love it in this little planter, it's just way too top heavy and it gets knocked over all the time. There's no potting mix from here up, so the roots are just super exposed, kind of like this one, I guess. And I don't know, it's just time. I need to get it into something bigger. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go in the order I overly described each of those things. I'm a little nervous. I don't wanna like disrupt anything too much because I would hate to kill the blooms, but I need to know if there are root mealies. Someone said it's probably root mealies and now I like can't sleep at night thinking that there's mealies hiding in this plant. So as much as I maybe should wait until it's done blooming, I've just like gotta, you know, I've just gotta. Hey, good news, no root mealies. And wow, these roots, I definitely am going to repot this one in the spring. I should right now, but I don't have a planter for it. This means I get to go thrifting, you guys. I am gonna go thrifting for some new planters for my little plants. Fun. Wow, that is beautiful. Why am I like hypnotized right now? By these beautiful orange roots. Blooms. These are the blooms. There's 2 little bloom stalks. These are definitely happening because this plant is so root bound. I'm sure it is a little bit stressed, but hey, I'm gonna let it stress a little bit longer until springtime. I think it'll be okay. That's the cool thing about sansevieria. They're very, very hardy in a lot of different ways, and they can definitely withstand a lot of things. Honestly, they die very slowly. I'm just gonna pot this back in there and let her go, let it bloom, and reevaluate once the blooms dry up if I want to repot now or if I want to wait until spring. I guess it kind of also depends on if I'm able to find a planter for it, but oh my gosh, I just had to show you those roots. That is so satisfying to me. I'm about to sleep so soundly now that I know there's no mealies in here. I should just, it drives me nuts because I should just check immediately, but I like forget or put it off or like build it up in my head that it's gonna be like this whole big task, and then it never really is. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I love it. This is getting a little bit top heavy and like this planter leans really easily, but I put these little pebbles up top to help weigh it down a little more so that it hopefully won't tip over. Oh yay, we're gonna get some blooms. There are little balls of sap on each of the little buds. Definitely to attract pollinators, but I also feel like it might become a sticky, sappy mess. We'll keep you posted. I'm just gonna set this back here and on to the next one, which is this. And yeah, these roots are very, very dry. So what I'm gonna do, softly scrape out the extra potting mix. But I don't want to break the roots because since they're so dried out, they'll just snap off like super easily. So, all right. Since the roots are so incredibly dry, I'm gonna spray them off really good, just in this little saucer. Guess I'm gonna use this. Add some of the potting mix to the bottom, just so it covers the drainage holes. And I'm gonna water it to help compact it down. Where the root ball is pretty tight in this planter, I really wanna like compact it pretty decently. This planter has great drainage holes. It has 3 drainage holes, and for such a small planter in such a chunky potting mix, I think that that's leaving this plant drying out a little bit too quickly. Sometimes just wetting it like this helps get everything started to really like hold together better, you know? But if it starts out dry and it just stays really dry, then it, I don't know, becomes more and more of a problem. Anyway, I'm just blabbing on and on. Okay, I am going to start adding some substrate back in. Filling around really evenly on all sides. I'm gonna water it in again. And this will help hold it down in place, I think, a little better. Do it all again. I get a lot of comments that I need to be nicer to my plants. Calling them wonky and weird is making them grow weird. So I don't know, maybe I just need to be nicer. Is that the trick? We are all potted back in. I think it's gonna be so much happier here. So much happier. And I'm just gonna set that aside, out of the way once again. Alrighty, moving on to this lovely thing. Kind of same thing, actually almost exactly the same thing, except a lot smaller pot, definitely a lot drier. Oh my gosh, this needed to be in a bigger pot long ago. It is so dry, so root bound. There's no way that it was staying watered enough for it to grow to its full potential, but the plant isn't dying. Like it grew even though it was so root bound. Don't get me wrong, they like to be root bound, but there's definitely a point. I think I'm gonna put it into this planter because it is the only small size planter I have on hand right now for my plants. Crap though, there's no Do I have a saucer? I'm gonna fill it up a little. Yeah, backfill. This is actually a porcelain planter. It's the only porcelain planter in my whole house, but I do really like porcelain. I think it's so beautiful. Not as many people make pots with it. They're hard to find. So if you see any cool porcelain planters, like, please let me know. I don't know, there's just something about the porcelain I really, really like. Put it in here. And now I'm gonna water it in really well so that all of the little potting mix things don't blow away with my every breath. What?
Why are you having Daisy scoop that?
Yes.
Why?
So that I don't have to use my hands. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what?
I had to change the battery, but we're back and this plant has been sitting in the water for a little bit. It's drained out a little bit. I do actually need to find a saucer for this. Oh, you know what? I have one up here. This saucer is not meant for this planter at all, but it needs something to drip into, so it's just gonna have to work. Actually, that doesn't fit too bad in there. The only thing is then you can't see this cute little drip leg, which helps keep the planter standing upright. Like, it leans a little on this. You can't see that with the saucer, but it's fine. It's worth it for the plant to be happy. I think that's it as far as the like sit down chores go. My next couple are, I just moved my Ficus Adrian from outside. This one here. I thought that this was going to be moving into my friend's house, but I guess it's staying here with me, and I'm truthfully not in love with this plant. Like, it's definitely at the bottom of my totem pole right now. I try to be nice to it, I really do. It just is such a weird, awkward growing plant for me. I think it needs a lot of light, and there are other plants that I would rather live closer to the light in the like more ideal spots. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to move it to my bathtub so that I can give it a little spray down. Really, really drench it with Captain Jack's, since I did just bring it back inside. Yeah, let's go do that. It is also just kind of a pain in the butt, an extra pain in the butt plant because it is so big and heavy. Another reason I kind of think that, I don't know, because I don't know. Ignore me. Welcome to my plant bathroom. This is where I do my like spraying down my plants and stuff. And right now, I'm gonna spray this down with Captain Jack's. Undersides also, my main goal here is to hit it from every direction. Once they're blasted with Captain Jack's, like, it's game over, it's game over. So the more thorough I can be with each time I spray my plants, the better. Sometimes I forget that though. Sometimes I'm also just lazy. Also make sure to spray down the pot and the substrate as well, and the whole trunk, everything, okay? This thing is dripping. The whole main purpose of all of this plant care, I decided to just nip in the bud because I was up in Kai's room we were getting ready for the day. Can you guess? The Hoya diptera, is it a diptera? The Hoya in there has baby mealybugs. Of course it's a frickin' Hoya. Why are they such mealybug magnets? And just when I started to get to the point, I feel like I can appreciate Hoya. No, I still can. I still can. I'm trying to rewire my thought process and not like dread taking care of situations like this because I should be happy. Anyway, maybe I should be thanking this plant because nothing else has signs of mealies, so maybe it just drew them all in. Every mealy in the house came to this plant. I've looked, I don't see any anywhere else. Just trying to rewire my thinking there. Man, this is heavy. Okay, I am going to also spray this off. I know I am definitely committing a plant care cardinal sin, which is putting an infested plant next to any other plant, but where this is sprayed down. And honestly, it can be so hard to isolate everything that needs to be isolated. How am I supposed to isolate everything? There's only so many corners in the house. I am going to spray this sucker down so hard with the Captain Jack's. So hard. See right here, so many babies. On the plus side, all of the mealies on here, like I haven't seen anything mature, which clearly something mature laid all these babies. But when there's small, tiny little babies like this, it is just definitely easier to handle the situation. Turn it around and spray it from the back side. I'm about to leave. Ryan and I are going out of town this weekend, so I need to handle these plants that I have in the bathtub so that I can put them back out in Gen Pop in some sunlight. So I'm gonna give them one final spray. Gonna let those drip dry and then move them back into their spots. Easy as that. You don't necessarily have to rinse the Captain Jacks off after. I just like to because it does have a little bit of a smell and it's not super potent or anything, but definitely if like, especially that big plant, if I were to leave the Captain Jacks on it and walk into a room with that plant in it, I'd be able to smell the Captain Jacks and I don't want that. I'd rather just rinse it off and be able to clean out my bathtub really easily rather than like spread it all around my house, you know? So that's just me though.